Let's talk power and politics in Oyo State. By 2026, politicians will be fully on ground, struggling for who gets what. That's what power is about. In Oyo State, the signs are there. The questions some are asking: is it time for power shift in Oyo State? Power shift from Ibadan to other zones of the state? That is the question many politicians are asking at this time. My guest, a former member of the House of Representatives, Lanre Agoro, will answer that question. Honorable Lanre Agoro, it's good to have you on State Affairs.
Edmond, good morning, and it's nice being here.
Let's look at power shift. Seyi Makinde by 2027 must have spent 8 years as the governor for your state. He's an Ibadan man. Seyi Makinde took over from Abiola Ajimobi, who spent 8 years as the governor of Oyo State. Ajimobi was an Ibadan man. Before Ajimobi was Akala. Akala came from Ogbomoso. But before Akala, you had Lam Ibadan, Ladoja Ibadan. Do you think that the PDP should zone the gubernatorial ticket to other zones in Oyo State?
There are so many things going on, and there are so many things involved. As I'm sitting before you, I'm an apostle of good governance, and I derive that thing from the principles of power entrenchment that have been going on in America, where we copied this presidential system of democratic governance from. So I'm less bothered one way or the other by who assumes that power, as long as the deliverables, democratic deliverables, reach the people of Oyo State in all corners and crannies. I'm less bothered. Let me essentially establish that. And that is what goes on in America. Who gives governance, not who is in government. In Nigeria, we have maximized government and desecrate governance. Governance is what gets to the people. Because if you define democracy as government of the people, by the people, for the people, are the people getting the deliverables? No, what they call democratic dividends. No, they are not. So, it is.
Are you saying Seyi Makinde is not delivering?
No, I'm talking generally.
No, speak specifically now.
No, generally. No, before you start with introduction.
Okay.
Before you get to the specific.
All right.
Yes. Again, that is the angle of governance and government. Whosoever comes, wherever you come from, you have given us where the predecessors of Engineer Seyi Makinde, they all came from. Ibadan, Ogbomoso, then Ibadan. If they are done well, there will only be this agitation for all the people from other zones. And again, you look at the Constitution of Nigeria, the 1999 Constitution, as imperfect as people claim it is. There is this issue of morality and law in power shift. Morality is that whatever belongs, you are a father to, or you and I are sons of a father. We all have right to our father's property. We all have. We both have rights to be there, to get it shared. But in a situation where, because you are older or you are bigger in size, you deprive others from accessing that particular patrimony, there will be crisis. That is the morality of it. But in law too, the 1999 Constitution, Section 14, of the 1999 Constitution, as imperfect a document as people claim it is, says it all. There is a point of convergence between morality and law. In the jurisprudence, they will tell you there is a difference, a word of difference between morality and law. But there's this point of convergence in the Nigerian 1999 Constitution in section 14. And what does it say? Say, Nigeria shall be a state founded on the principles of democracy and social justice. That is section 14. I'm quoting verbatim. Then you go to section 14.2. It said, it is now declared accordingly that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria. B, that democracy, they will participate in democracy. And C, they will do, everybody has to be involved in government. But what particularly interests me is subsection 3 and subsection 4. Subsection 3 talks about the federal government and its agencies will accommodate all shades and color of people in Nigeria so as to reflect federal character. 1. 2. Command loyalty and unity. That is section what? Section 14, subsection 3. That all agencies of federal government and government itself must reflect federal character. That is why you have at least 36 ministers from each state of the federation. When you go to subsection 4 now, section 14, subsection 4 talks about the government of the state or the local government council or any agency of the state or the local government council shall be composed as to reflect diversity and to give a sense of belonging and loyalty.
So related to what is going on in Oyo State.
So invariably now, everybody must be accommodated. The governance of each state of the federation, the council must reflect that diversity. We have 5 political blocs in Oyo State. Ibadan is a political, social, or geopolitical bloc. Ogbomoso, a geopolitical bloc. Oke-Ogun, a geopolitical bloc. Oyo, a geopolitical bloc. And Ibarapa, a geopolitical bloc.
They are represented in government, are they not?
That is not diversity that the Constitution anticipates.
Are you sure?
It's not.
The deputy governor is from Oke-Ogun.
No, you asked the question, and Ibadan has always been the governor.
Okay, that is the issue now.
No, that's why I'm going. You want us to relate it, and I'm coming there. It's not about dominance. It's he didn't say, the Constitution has not said you have to dominate. It's about what? It's about bringing to the fore the diversities. One, and I've established the diversities. The other one is that you must give them source of belonging. That one, we have been governors, let it go to other place, let it go. That is why the issue of rotational presidency between the south, the southern Nigeria of 17 states, and the northern Nigeria of 19 states. And you know when this thing cropped up, they said, no, look at it. Buhari had 8 years. And that was what brought the beginning of the crisis in PDP. Atiku, you are also from the north. You cannot succeed a northerner. And that was why 5 governors from the south and mid-belt came together.
Including governorship.
That is why 5. They said, no, you cannot. So he has fought for the what? Entrenchment of that provision of the Constitution. And I believe he's going to fight for it or establish it in the Oyo State.
He said he fought for equity and justice.
That is why I'm saying that, I've commended him for that. So it now behoves him. If he did that at the federal level, then the state level is also there.
So how come Ibadan has been dominating other zones?
So the point is, there are so many things, there are so many reasons, among which are the people of other zones. Before now, Ibadan was nowhere to be found until 1983. Other zones of old Oyo State had always dominated. You recall Bola Ige. You recall Soja Aderemi? You recall that during the time of Western region, Awolowo was not from Oyo State, was from Ikene in Ogun State. Until 1983, when Bola Ege wanted to come back and he contested with the late Dr. Omololu-Olunloyo, and Bola Ege contested at UPN, the party, Unity Party of Nigeria. Dr. Omololu of blessed memory also contested under MPN. But in 1979, Bola Ege was in UPN. He contested against Chief Richard Akijide from Ibadan too, and he defeated him. Bola Ege is from Eshaoke, and he's a shaman. But power shifted in 1983, even though it was short-lived. Dr. Omololu-Olunloyo won the gubernatorial contest. He contested and he won, and ever since, power had not shifted to any other zones again, except Ibadan. It has always resided in Ibadan, the governorship power.
Akala got it for 4 years.
Yes, it was true after Oba Rashidi Ladoja now, but Senator Rashidi Ladoja then was pursued out of the party because he wishes everybody who uses that word. So I was pursued out of the party. When we were with Dr. Ebele Jonathan, when we were discussing the issue of Akala, how to solve the problems in PDP pre-2011 election, I remember the president calling on him. You left the party, and the Oba said, no, I did not leave the party. They pursued me out of the party. So I know if he's watching and listening, he will be happy that we are trying to repeat it. When he was pursued out of the party, Akala got it. Subsequently thereafter, nobody has ever got it. He didn't secure the second time ticket. Of course, he mismanaged that victory of 2007 and 2011, and he ran some of us out of the party. There are so many of us. You remember too, the then Senate leader, was also, saw him as part of the problem. We were there together. We were all there before the president. He was there with late Oba Olubadan, the then Senator Lekan Balogun, who was Otun then. He led us there with some other people. But that it was not Akala against the Ibadan people, but Akala against the members of his party. Because I came from Oreolope, Oyo North. Camille is from Oyo Central. Adesheun from Ogbomoso, the same town. In 2007, he won Ogbomoso North, Ogbomoso North, with a margin of almost 42,000 votes. But when he fought with us, he only had 48 or 42,000. So we reduced that power by almost 100,000. That is to tell you that you don't fire people within your party. You try to accommodate them. So we are talking of power shift. So the call now is for all those blocs saying, because they have not been saying it out. And I said among the reasons why they have not been saying it, psychologically they are traumatized.
They are traumatized.
They are traumatized psychologically. You know, before the emancipation...
Is it that Ibadan bullies them?
No, that has been the tendency of the big brother.
Is it Ibadan that bullies all the political parties?
That has been the tendency of the big brothers.
Who is the big brothers?
When the JSRs were here, they were the big brothers. They were bullying the Ibadan and the Oyos. Now, the JSRs, they have successfully left and they are in Osun State now. You know, we used to have Osun 1, Osun 2. In those days, let us leave that. It's another story entirely. Now we have Ibadan and some other 4 geopolitical blocks that I had already mentioned. So, which one is the biggest? We have 3,271,000 registrants by INEC, the last registration. But as at the last registration, Ibadan has 1,771,000.
But
let me land. That is about 54% of the total number of registrants. Oke-Ogun has 691, which is about 20%. Ogbomoso has 392, which is about 12%. Oyo had 282, which is about 8%. And Ibarapa has 171,000, which is about 5%. So the Constitution of Nigeria did not and does not anticipate that no matter what, even if you are supplying, like the North is doing to any other political party, 19 states, you know how many senators they have? You know how many House of Reps they have? Particularly the Northwest. You cannot dominate because you produce many people. It has to go around. That is why those who fought for power to shift after Buhari had spent 8 years to come downside, they didn't say because the North has the number, then the North should continue to dominate. That is what we are saying. It cannot be Ibadan with all these figures that on the basis of that, it is them that will produce the governor.
But if these 4 zones come together,
yes,
they can give Ibadan a fight. If Ibadan wants to continue to dominate.
In fact, you know what?
Because everybody that lives in Ibadan is not an Ibadan man.
I agree with you, absolutely. You know what? These are the things that I said they have been psychologically traumatized. The psyche had been changed. And that leads us to what happened in United States of America. After the end of the Civil War in 1965, April 9, 1865 rather. Before then, there was what they call Emancipation Proclamation of 1963, January 1, 1963, by the referred Abraham Lincoln. You know what happened? After that proclamation that slaves, you are free to live a free-born life. Black Americans are still thinking as what? As slaves. As a result of the trauma of more than 300 years. So the people from the other zones have not been able to think clearly. That is why they have not seen themselves that in unity there is strength. Come together. And in the Constitution, it's built there. There's inbuilt mechanism in Nigerian Constitution 1999 that one, you have to win 25% of the vote cast in each local government into third number of local government. These other ones, we have 33 local governments in Oyo State. Ibadan only has 11. Even if Ibadan turns out to produce 1 million votes in each of the 11 local governments, they have not met the constitutional provision. They will never be able to make it.
So the other zones have to wake up.
Definitely, they are in slumber. And that reminds me of what Ronald Reagan said when he visited China. He got to China and he said, yes, the giant under the sun is in slumber, but China has since woken up. I hope this is a challenge to all other ones. It's not a fight. It's just a challenge. Wake up. Let them know you exist too.
And they also have to wake up within the political parties.
In all ramifications. You don't have to say you clamor for power change. It has to be using the instrumentality of political parties, which is a platform upon which candidates, or let me say, upon which aspirations are what? Are realized and candidates emerge.
Look at this permutation. If the APC decided to go Ibadan for the gubernatorial, do you think it will not be smart for the PDP to go Oke-Ogun or Oyo or Ibarapa if APC goes Ibadan?
That calculation has not sufficed. Why? Because the people or the politicians in those areas have never thought it that way. And that is why what is giving the politicians in Ibadan, the domineering side, to think head we win, tail we win. Because in their own political parties too, those people from Oke-Ogun will be the one. Even if you had visited Edmond, would they have won? What we have to do? We have money among those problems too. But Edmond, let me tell you this for free. I won't mention names, but I know some governors here who had been governors in Oyo State who never had money. In succession, I know of 2 But this is not something to disclose on air. But they became governors. Yeah.
But Oke-Ogun is not poor.
The point
Oyo is not poor. You have
they will now
rich
begin
persons.
to tell you that you have to spend billions. You have to spend this. There's some of them who had been governors who never had money. But once you have emerged, and it's not on those flimsy political parties. You know, we have 93 political parties. Don't go and pick fresh political party and you think you will go. It has to be within those foremost political parties. And on the basis of that, money will come, then strength will come, then sympathy will come. I know for sure that some Ibadan people, the real Ibadan people, who wish that power should shift. Let it go to other regions.
I still need your comment here. If APC goes Ibadan, will PDP dare to go elsewhere?
That will be, I told you, there are permutations going on. I want to say that it's too early to say that.
But with Seyi Makinde as governor, if APC goes to Ibadan, with Seyi Makinde as governor from Ibadan, don't you think he can say, yes, I will go Oke-Ogun and use my influence in Ibadan and attract votes to Oke-Ogun?
It's not impossible. We have given him that credential of fighting for right. And he did that when Atiku wanted to what? To maintain power in the north. And he came out boldly with other governors in the south, and 3 from the south, 1 from the mid-belt. That is the Benue State governor. To say, no, it can't be. So he has paid his dues. And I think he has that freedom or the free will to say, yes, if I could do that in the federal, I can also do that in the state. And it will forever be in his favor and record that he's a fighter, he's a freedom fighter, he's a fighter for everybody, not for a section of the state.
Did he promise during the electioneering of 2023 to go Oke-Ogun in 2027?
Not at all, not at all. Nobody ever made that promise. But the point is this, those who had earlier made promises, or even I knew of a governor who claimed that he will cite a university, a state-funded university, or state-funded and founded university at Isheyin. But at the end of the day, he brought it to Ibadan because of the pressure.
You're talking about Jimobi?
Definitely, yes. So, Technical University was supposed to be where? To be in Isheyin, Oke-Ogun. But people from Ibadan came out to say, some, not all, only few, said, the first one we established, that is Lautech, is in Ogbomoso, outside Ibadan. Peradventure, the state is divided now. A new state is created out of or carved out of Oyo State. The 2 state-funded and founded universities will be outside. What is the benefit of Ibadan? And that is the sentiment we want to raise. That's why I was talking about good governance. If there had been good governance and these things do not leak to our head, we won't be clamoring or clamoring for power shift. So what they are telling us that they use that power of governorship to what? To establish things in where they come from.
I'm thinking Atiku and Co are discussing alliances. If APC decided to go Ibadan, and Seyi Makinde and PDP decided to go Ibadan, and the Atiku alliance emerges, don't you think that party that will come, if the party comes, should go to other zone? And that means victory for other zones.
We have tried to establish constitutional requirement. There's one thing we are missing. When there's a stalemate, you now go for direct poll. Whosoever has the majority. You don't take into consideration again the issue of 1/4 or 25% of the vote cast into third of each local government. You know, you need 24 local government by 2/3. And only Seyi Makinde won 30 local government out of 33. For the very first time, 30 local government out of 33. So on the basis of that strength and love, he must have done certain permutations. He must have also discussed with certain people. The clout is there if he wishes, because he holds the what? The reign now. if he wishes that, yes, this clamor is on, and there are some people who discuss with him, not without Oke-Ogun, but from within Ibadan, that there's need for the agitation is on, and this is one of the agitations. The platform you have provided is one of the agitations. Yes, there's need for power shift. If power had not shifted, President Bola Tinubu wouldn't have got power. If the likes of Wike, Seyi Makinde, Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi,
the Benue man
had not fought and insisted within their party, yes, you have to give it to us. If you don't give it to us, then we come from a divide, a part of the divide, which is the South. Then the South must have it. So such a mindset can deliver such a thing to the people. But people are just waking up. How many of people from Oke-Ogun have this temerity, the mind to say, okay, yes, power must shift? They are also bullied to the extent that I won't raise my head. So that even if it is another person, if it comes, because even if the situation arises that such a thing, this consideration is now given, who is that person? Is that me? Oh, I've not spoken against you, that kind of thing. But we need to speak out. This is the speaking out time. We are not fighting anybody. We are not saying you are what. It is what belongs to all of us. What belongs to all of us belongs to everybody. And on the basis of this, we also have a right to have a shot at it. And that is what we are saying. And nothing more. It's not a fight, it's not anything. But yes, the Constitution has provided for it. Moral ground too has also yielded to the fact that let power shift. We are not the only person. Like they say in Yoruba, Ajoje Odunbe nikan oni. But you can't be eating alone. You eat alone, you die alone. But let us eat together. Let it go around. And I want to assert and give assurance to the people of Ibadan that whoever comes from other zones will do better than any Ibadan man. Why? Because he will not want to lose their confidence. Two is the fact that the state, let me say this, there's Ibadan as a city, like some people will say it's a world on its own, has benefited, we will have to benefit from the whatever is coming from the federal or whatever is raised. Why? Because Ibadan is like, the analogy I used to say is this. You have a witch, you have a thief, you have sickness, you have what? You have death. Death is greater than sickness or any ailment. A thief is more powerful and potent than a witch, because whatever a witch has as its means of power or a power, the thief can pack it and go away with it. So any capital city like Abuja, look at Abuja. Whenever the people land from any country, they would think the way Abuja is the way Nigeria, all cities in Nigeria are. Look at what is going on. The revolution, the road revolution in Ibadan by Seyi Makinde-led government. You cannot traverse or move from one end of the town to another 30, 20 kilometers without any pothole. It shows that Ibadan cannot go back to the Ibadan of the old. Whoever takes over must maintain that sanity, maintain that beauty, maintain that developmental stride. That is it. So that is the point. But again, let me say this, Edmond. It is only Oyo State that this thing is happening. That the people from the state capital would what? Would dominate governance. Osun was created some 30 years ago. No Oshogbo man, the state capital, had ever been governor of Osun State. Go and check. It's not on record. Ekiti, I've been there for more than 25 years. The last time I checked was, I think they celebrated the creation of Ekiti 27 years ago. No Ado Ekiti man has ever been governor of Ekiti State.
They are clamoring too.
No, I'm coming. Ondo State, ever since Ondo was cut out of the Western region, no Akure man has ever been governor of Ondo State.
They are clamoring too.
The last time they did was when Jegede was the candidate of PDP. And this other person of blessed memory, Akeredolu, was going for a second term. You know what happened? Ondo has 18 local governments. This I've had to say in the state broadcasting station, because I was called to analyze the story or the development then. It was only in Akure North, Akure South, and Egbedore, which is part of what? Akure, that Jegede won. The other 15 local government, the other political players came together and defeated Jegede. What they are saying, the signal they are saying is that you can't have the two. You already have the state capital. Who have the power? We will reside there. Wherever the villages are, Akeredolu always comes from, or always used to come from Owo to Akure, whether he liked it or not. Any other person that ever became governor must always be going to Akure. This is a scenario. Some people will now draw another issue. Yes, what about Ogun State? You have established 3. Yes, Ogun has always been between the Egbas and the Ijebus. OGD is an Ijebu man. Otumba Gbenga Daniel. Dapo Abiodun is an Ijebu man. Osoba, Egba, Amusu, Egba. The other side that is clamoring is the Yelwa. The Yelwa people. And they defeated them.
Amusu almost gave it to Yelwa.
No, they defeated themselves. I hope when it comes to the Oke-Ogun, they will not defeat themselves. It's a self-defeatist situation they found themselves. So on the basis of this, we are talking about agitation. It's a rightful thing to do. Even within Ibadan now. Edmond, you know what is happening? Onara shares the same federal constituency with what? With Egbeda. Egbeda people have come out with the list of those people that have gone to the House of Representatives. From Adegoke, who went 2 times, and this one, Akin Alabi, who is a second timer too, who probably will be proposing to go for the 3rd time by 2027. Say, no, we don't have it that way, even within Ibadan. So it is a rightful demand. There's also a rightful demand again between Lagelu and Akinyele. So it has to go around. If within Ibadan such an agitation is going on, I don't think it's a sin or a crime or a criminal inclination to say, yes, let the power go round.
Honorable Lanre Agoro, thank you for featuring on State Affairs.
Thank you for having me.